Hey everyone, it's Michael and welcome back to Boxmining. Today I want to take a look at Phemex exchange. And this exchange is something you really want to pay attention to because it has one feature that can really save you some money. It has a new model where it doesn't charge you per trade. There's free trades on a spot exchange. And the bottom line here is that if you're buying and selling one Bitcoin per month, then you're actually going to save more money on Phemex exchange than any other exchange out there. So in this review, we're going to talk a little bit about this zero fee trading model. It's really an industry first, and I really see that this is something that needs to change in the exchange space. We actually want to save more money because prior to doing this review, I did a tally and I found out that every month with the amount that I'm trading, I'm literally spending $555 worth of US dollars on trading fees, which is ridiculous. I mean, there's a reason why they say the house always wins. But with the Phemex, with their premium trading model, they're going to charge you $9.99 per month, and all trades on there will be free afterwards. In fact, they even have an annual plan of $70 per year, which is still less than the amount I'm paying per month. And that will be a year of free trade. Now, full disclosure before we start this video, I am working with Phemex to help with their exchange promotion. And every link you can click below, if you click that link below, I will get a commission for the sales of that as well. I do want to say with all reviews, I do reserve my right to give my opinion. That's the most important of them all. So I hope you guys will enjoy this review. And if you guys have any comments of your own, if you have any feedback as well, and tell me how your experience is, leave that on the comment section below. I really want to find out how you are finding trading on Phemex exchange as well. So let's dive into the good stuff first. So what does Phemex offer? And it's the zero fee trading. It's the first exchange, the first major exchange to offer this feature. Basically, if you sign up as a full premium user, your trading fees for web and app will be zero. That being said, of course, there are some terms and conditions. For example, if you're using the web API, so if you're an algorithmic or a bot trader, you can't benefit from this. Or if you're an institutional trader, you can't benefit from this either. And if you are using the contract trading platform, the fees are the same. So you still get charged fees. So this is only for those who are trading, buying and selling cryptocurrency, which of course I am. Now, it does cost a little bit of money, so it costs $9.99 per month or $90, $69.99, $70 for an entire year. So prior to finding about Phemex, I didn't do a total tally of how much I was paying the exchange. I knew it was something, all right? I knew these exchanges were making billions of dollars off our backs, but I just didn't really know exactly how much. So I actually did a deep dive on my trades, and I'll show you a little bit of that here. So this is a screenshot of my Binance trading account. And you can see in April, I was buying Bitcoin very well at $6,828 with a trading total of $3,222 US dollars. So that's okay. But you can also see that with the amount executed, there is fees, right? So every single transaction has associated fees. And so you can see that already in a single transaction, it can be $3, $4. And this adds up to be quite a lot. So especially if you have a lot of orders. So going a little bit deeper into the fee schedule, we can see on spot trades alone, I traded 82 Bitcoin worth of BTC. And at my current fee rate at VIP1, my current rate, this is my maker and taker fee, so 0.0675 or 0.7075 for my taker. So with that, I just averaged it out and I calculated that to be 500 plus US dollars worth of fees. That's a crazy amount to be paying Binance, and this is why Binance is making money off me. And this is why, in many senses, migrating a lot of those Bitcoin transactions and trades over to Phemex will save me a lot of money. So what about the exchange interface itself? Is it easy to use? Is it easy to understand? The good news is I spent around a month playing with it, and I found that the interface is very, very intuitive. So if you want to do spot trades, you have the 4 coins on the top left-hand corner here. Just select the coin you want to trade. Phemex has stated that they're adding a lot more coins in the future, and that's going to be interesting to watch what happens in this area too. And then you can see the order book, which is what's happening here, and also the charts. If you actually like charts, you can go for trading view charts full screen and you're good to go. In terms of orders, it's pretty self-explanatory. You have both limit and market orders. Typically speaking, what I usually do is if I want to buy Bitcoin, say right now, I just typically set a bid order at the kind of just beating the lowest by a little bit. That's typically what I want to do because obviously I want the best price for it. And that works quite well for this exchange. Or you can select market order where you can just immediately buy Bitcoin at the current price. So pretty self-explanatory there. The other part about the exchange is, of course, the derivative side. So this links both spot trades and contract trades together. Now, with contract trades, one thing to note here is that the discount from the premium membership doesn't count. So the premium is only for spot trades, and for contracts, they're taking fees as normal. But as with all exchanges, contract trades are less fees. They have less fees than normal spot trades. It's important to remember that contract trades are extremely powerful and they can be easily misused. Typically speaking, what I found with a lot of experienced traders is that they hedge certain positions or they make certain very tested strategies when it comes to trading. So it's not to get out of kind of trading with passion, but rather with certain set strategies. So definitely this is very, very high risk, and obviously read up on contract trades if you don't know what it is. The contract trade itself, it looks exactly the same as a normal spot trade, with the difference being you have the option to buy or long or sell/short an asset. What that means is that you can take advantage. If you want to short, you can take advantage of Bitcoin prices going down. And if you want to buy long, obviously that's just like buying Bitcoin, but with certain leverage. Now, as always, we want to know a little bit more about who's running the exchange, because that's very important in terms of establishing trust. So in this video, I got a call with CEO Jack Tao and asked him a little bit about the passion behind the exchange and also the security features as well. And Jack, for just a starter, I mean, I see you guys have a really nice office behind you. Obviously, you're passionate. Can you tell me like why you kind of even started the exchange in the first place?
Thank you, Michael, for inviting me here, and it's a great honor. I have followed your YouTube since 2017.
Thank you.
And actually, that's how we started. And in the later 2016 and earlier 2017, I started to get to know about the Bitcoin. And one of my friends from JP Morgan, actually, he introduced me to blockchain, and I read the white paper, and it was amazing. So, and my partners and I started thinking about open some business in the blockchain technology, blockchain space, and we find that open exchange is making perfect sense. At that time that there's lots of exchanges opened, but they didn't operate well. There are a lot of outages, and even for the biggest one, they have like a flash crash. The Ethereum price crashed from 300 to, if you remember, right?
And I remember it dropped to zero. Yeah. It dropped to zero. So just because of trading order matching issues, it dropped to zero as a flash crash, just wiped everything off, right? And that was Coinbase too.
Ether. See on Ether. And I think there's one guy that purchased 3,000 Ether at a price like 10 cents. Right. And so there's even now that because the crypto exchange is totally different from the traditional one, right? It operates 24 hours by a year, right? Non-stop, right? Even for FX trading, foreign exchange trading, they close on Sunday. So the technical wise is totally different. So my background is I work for Morgan Stanley for 11 years. And so my team is building trading system, cross engines, connect to almost all the exchange in the world. And I was the leader of the global dev team and for our Morgan Stanley electronic trading system. So I know exactly that how to build an exchange to support this kind of business.
So obviously, the exchange is actually quite special and novel as well, because you've been offering free trades. And this is something that really enticed me to do this in the first place, because I looked at my trading volume and I saw I'm spending like $500 plus on just a single exchange. And I'm like, why should I be spending that much?
Yes.
How does that work? What inspired you to do that?
It's I have multiple reasons. One is we look into the traditional market. Like many people may know that last year that almost all the retail broker announced that they go zero commission for
Mm,
retail users and start from Charles Schwab. Even in mainland China, if I remember correctly, they are starting lowering fees and become zero fees for retail users. I think it's a trend that it's as a financial service, one of your responsibility is to reduce fees for clients, and especially for small capital users.
mm,
Majority of their cost is on the fees, right? And for the institutional clients, they willing to pay more fees but have a better service, like data wise, analysis wise, right? So that's two different groups. So we announced our zero fee permission is just to benefit our retail customers, and we
mm.
realized that indeed, as you and I all trade a different exchange, right? We pay a lot of fees indeed in
Yeah.
those exchanges.
Now, obviously, this is a big model change, and I think one of the worries I had initially was like, how do you guys make money, right? You guys have very cheap annual membership, $70 per user. How are you gonna if you're gonna let retail trade cheaper? How are you gonna make money?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So first, that as I mentioned earlier, that this membership zero fee is mainly for retail
Mm,
users. And for institutional clients that they trade larger volumes, they will have other services. They will be charged based on their trading volumes,
mhm.
but we provide other services, data services, and financial services, credit services. So we provide a more advanced service for them.
One of the biggest concerns I've always had is security. So I've been in this space long enough. I've experienced Mt. Gox collapsing. How are you securing up your exchange?
Yeah, security is just not one thing or one technology.
Hmm.
It's a whole system, right? So first, that in Phemex we will only use using the code wallet
Hmm.
developed by our own team, and but the code wallet is not the only thing, right? So the
Hmm.
code wallet has its own security, and we keep the private key well.
Hmm.
And after we launch the spot trading, we also have the hot wallet. The
Hmm.
hot wallet that we only have a very small portion of the hot wallet, the
Hmm.
funds in the hot wallet. So if in the breach, the damage is still in control, right? The
Mm.
second thing is the policy, and all the withdrawal in Phemex is reviewed by our robots. So the robots will have some policy check to see if there is any abnormal activities,
Hmm.
and it have some behavioral check powered by the machine learning to see
Mm.
if that client does it have any deposit, has it had any valid trade, right? So this
Mm.
kind of thing can also filter out those malicious users.
Mm.
The third thing is every single withdrawal is reviewed by a person.
Another big part of Femex has also been the futures exchange. There's always kind of a mystery. How does the futures trade and options work together? Does the options trade side affect the prices that's going on in the spot trades? What's happening with these advanced trading tools?
So it's definitely increased the total trading volume, and
Mm-hmm.
in the crypto world, it's similar to traditional markets. So usually traditional markets you have a stock exchange,
Mm-hmm.
right? If their trading volume is one, and you will see the OTC in the derivative trading will be like 100 times bigger, right?
Mm.
It's and we see this trend in the cryptos as well. And because they provide the leverage, which means that you don't need much capital can hedge your position. So there's a lot of advantages for people to take to hedge their risks and capture
Mm.
opportunities. So it's very good tools. So I don't feel surprised that the volume keep increasing like these days. And regarding the pricing, it's kind of like I think maybe 1 or 2 years earlier, and we still see that spot trading markets like Coinbase, Binance, their pricing maybe dominated the price trend. right? So all the derivatives will follow that trend to that price for the pricing. And then nowadays it's like sometimes 50-50. And that's it's kind of they kind of impact each other based on trading volume, based on the buy and sell pressure.
We're always talking about insurance funds for options trading, because sometimes spot obviously has a huge impact here, but sometimes when it comes to your futures market, there's the orders are not stacked the same, right? So the number of shorts versus the number of longs, it's not exactly the same. So occasionally the exchange might have to fill in those little gaps between liquidations. And we saw something pretty bad happen with OKX, for example, where a flash crash caused the exchange to have overexposure of a certain asset, and then there were clawbacks on user accounts. How would Phemex protect users against actions like that?
So our insurance is similar to like Bitmax and other exchange. It's basically to prevent user go bankrupt and even owe the money to the exchange when they already being like bankrupt, become that the total value it becomes zero, right? So and due to the flash crash or sharp drop of the price or sharp raise of the price, and insurance funds is the idea is every time that we every time people get liquidated, it will have a padding. A small portion of the money they liquidated will contribute to the insurance, just in case some disaster happen. Just in case some disaster happen, and some other people get bankrupt, they need to pay more for the liquidation. They will get a fund from the insurance fund to pay back the other users. So all the buyer and the seller actually are equal. So if you have one buyer buy one contract, they definitely have a seller contract. So that's the even. But when someone goes bankrupt, then the buyer or the seller may own more money than he has to the other side. Then insurance funds will trigger. So that's the purpose of insurance funds.
Yeah, I think that's the flash crash that happened because it was it was a flash crash, and then during the crash, the exchange started liquidating accounts. But the problem is they couldn't liquidate it fast enough, right? Because in those few seconds, the price kept dropping. So there was a forced liquidation, but the exchange got kind of left with the order with the trade because they couldn't find an appropriate match, right? So I think so. How big is the exchange, the insurance fund right now that you guys have right now?
If I remember correctly, we have about almost 200 BTC in our BTC contract insurance fund.
Okay,
and
that's pretty good.
I didn't remember the number. It's all accumulated slowly. Sometimes dropped a little bit due to the liquidation. And the problem you mentioned that has multiple facts. One is when there's a sharp drop or sharp raise. Usually that you will have a liquidity issue because the market maker may have defended themselves and escape away. They probably quote much higher or much lower, and then the liquidation price has to pay more to liquidate the position. They will charge more from the insurance fund. The second thing is the performance of the exchange. If the exchange is too slow, which is one of the biggest problem we want to solve, right? It's too slow, and the price keep dropping, and they slowly liquidate. They get worse and worse price, and they pay more and more from the insurance fund. That's also another problem contribute to this thing.
So how do you ensure faster matching? What's your secret sauce? Or can you describe like kind of roughly what technology you're using to make the exchange faster?
There's not much secret, but hard working and experience. So my team, myself, I worked for 11 years for this business. I'm the developer, and we have Duyang, who was my colleague in Morgan Stanley as well. He also worked in Hong Kong Exchange for a couple of years, and lots of a team member from other bank system. They have from infrastructure team and from trading desk team. So we have the experience to know how to build a real exchange, a modern exchange that can take this business. You know, there are a lot of technology you can use, but regarding architecture and which technology you use is totally different, right? So you can use many languages to build the functionality, but to achieve the performance, you have to use the right one. So we know exactly how to build it. That's our advantage. It's a huge advantage. We saw lots of exchange. We know that the CTO, the technical background, and we know that what's their problem, and that's the things we try to avoid. The second thing is that we build everything almost from scratch, And the one key thing is to reduce the dependency on third-party libraries, because their code and their performance is not guaranteed, even for some good open source projects, because they both build open source and they build a lot of functionality that it doesn't need. So make it become the system become heavy, and so you have to understand how to use those open source correctly. If you want to make everything fast on your critical path, you have to to remove a lot of function or just write your own one. So we spend a lot of time.
So you wrote your own one.
A lot of time. Yeah, we even published like technical paper on our blog.
Oh, nice.
to share our the core architecture. And I remember there's a Russian technology forum, and they reviewed our paper and give lots of comments and feedbacks. And they said it's very, it's not normal like exchange will review their core architecture and so give them a lot of insights of how we build the exchange.
Oh,
and
wow.
they think everything makes sense. The third thing is in the testnet, we provide our performance testing environment. So there's a button if you have to apply for it.
Okay.
And it will simulate a high trading volume environment, like sending like thousands messages per second, and we execute it. And then you can place your own order to test if you have any lagging or performance issue during this high trading volume system.
That's really cool.
We are the only exchange providing this kind of simulation in testnet.
That's cool. If you can enable that for me, I would love to try it and see how that goes. And yeah, hopefully we can record that and see it in action, because that's obviously.
I can send you. We made a demo on YouTube. I can send you that demo as well. Of course, we can book a window for this.
Cool. Sounds good, Jack. So thank you so much for spending time to talk to us. And guys, that rounds up the Phemex review. So I think one of the biggest key points to take home here is their zero fee trading model. I definitely think this is an innovation and much needed change in the cryptocurrency space. I've been spending way too much on exchange fees, and it's about time that we have zero fee transactions. And honestly, I don't mind paying that premium for it, because I did the math. Even 1 month of fee right now can pay for a whole year on Phemex. Now, of course, the spot exchange doesn't support all currencies. So right now it is limited to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and Chainlink. Phemex has stated though that they are adding a lot more coins in the future, and they're looking to add almost all the top 50 coins in cryptocurrency space. So that will be very, very interesting to watch. If you guys are considering using the spot exchange or even the futures exchange on Phemex, make sure you use the link down below. It is an affiliate link, and by doing so, you will support the channel. Other than that, I'd love to hear what you think about the exchange, and I hope it does save you money after all this. I definitely hope that feature is useful for you, and I'd love to hear what your comments are about it. And with that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you click the like down button down below, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. I just did the hand signs the wrong way around, but you guys get the picture. See you in the next video.